Hi, and welcome to M&M Reviews. My name is Margarita.
And my name is Mirage.
And today we're reviewing the finale of Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's right, Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
So we are gonna first talk about some things we liked.
Yeah.
Then about some things we kind of were like, and then about some things we really hated. Spoiler alert on the really hated stuff. We really hated the whole
Sharon Power Broker.
Yeah, and the Bucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Bucky neglect.
Neglect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting with what we really did like.
I mean, I guess what we both really liked was Sam, Black Falcon,
Yeah,
Captain America.
Yes.
Everything
Amazing.
about him in this episode was cool.
Yes.
Okay, let's just say some things we like. One, I really liked his new suit with the wing design and like the shield there on the back and like all his new capabilities. It was just really dope and it looks cool.
Two, I really liked the action scenes he were in. You know, when he was like flying through the air, the way he was using the Captain America shield in conjunction with like the unique capacities of his suit.
Yeah, I love that because it really speaks to this like redefining the Captain America role in this very physical way. Because
like free, I really liked that he had the star, Captain America star, but with like the Falcon wings. I thought that was really dope.
And then it really in the fighting also, it's like he's not just being Captain America. He's not really the soldier. He's more of like I don't know, mediator, counselor, Captain America type. You know. So there was a lot, like he was really making it his own with the costume, with the fighting, with the personality. So I really like that.
Yes. Do you have a 4?
Yeah, I really liked, I thought it was like fun when he gave everybody this lecture about how they have to do better. It was very cheesy, but it was also like, again, a fun way to make a statement about him and the character and his kind of like way of being moving forward. So I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, 5. I really liked the way they worked in his like blackness into the episode, because it wasn't too much. It wasn't like in your face, this is Black Captain America, like take this pill, you racist, you know. Certain shows can be like that. But simultaneously it was also like acknowledging the reality of like being a Black Captain America. So I feel like they did that really smoothly.
Yeah, and just overall I think the concept of him kind of like seeing like multiple perspectives at once and having a nuanced perspective was really well done. So I really like that. And so it's basically we just liked everything about Sam. It was all good.
There was also some moment, just like a particular scene where he got like knocked down and he got back up, you know.
Oh yeah, when she was like, stay down. And he was like, no.
It's like, you know.
Yeah.
He watched Steve Rogers doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like he was carrying the spirit. Are you tearing up a little bit?
I'm tearing up a little bit, you know. Tearing up a little bit for sure, you know. Steve Rogers. Okay, so what
So that's the thing we liked the most.
We really loved the whole. I guess like the whole Falcon Captain America story, it came to fruition.
Yeah, it came to fruition. It really delivered. It made me feel really satisfied. And I just, sorry, I don't know the name of the actor, but the actor who plays Sam, he's just very likable. Anthony Mackie, he's a really good actor. He's very likable. I feel like he brings a very like real depth to the role, and he's just a very likable guy, you know. Disney, they really know how to pick him, I guess.
You know what I don't look forward to?
Who?
I don't look forward to hearing all like these like weird like snowflake triggered people being like, oh, it was so social justice the way they pushed this down our throat, you know.
Well, I'm not listening to anything like that.
No.
It's you who is spending hours listening to
watching those.
So that's your choice. Okay, so now for some of the things that we liked less in the episode.
But still liked.
Okay, you go first.
What was it? So, John Walker, Captain America.
Yeah, okay.
Or U.S. agent.
U.S. agent.
So what did I like about it? Well, I like 2 things. I like the fact that he kind of got this like redemption arc, right? Because it would have been weird to me if it was like he snapped and there was just like a one-way street down to villain.
Being a villain,
Because he got like 3 medals of honors, you know, so he obviously has some capacity for like goodness and courage and heroism.
Heroism,
Yeah. So I like the fact that he came back and he had this redemption where he chose to forsake chasing Morgenthau and tried to pull up the car. I also just like the fact that they're keeping him around in the MCU because I feel like he's such a good actor.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the U.S. agent storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not invested in it, but I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
He's a great actor, obviously, like, really good. So I'm really excited to see that. But on the flip side, what we didn't like about the U.S. agent storyline bit was like, just thought it was weird how Bucky and Sam really welcomed him in, kind of like, well, you're against the Flag Smashers, so you're our friend now.
Yeah.
But it was like he was trying to kill them before.
Yeah, like literally the last episode, he was so unstable that he was trying to kill them.
Yeah, and he like tore apart Falcon's wings and beat down Bucky.
Yeah, so
I think it was a bit weird, but I don't know, maybe that's just like some sort of superhero logic. That's just the way it has to be in the superhero world that maybe we're just not thinking about. Okay.
Do you have some other things that you kind of liked but kind of disliked?
I would say I kind of disliked the way that they ended the Flag Smasher GRC plot. I expected for it to be something bigger because Carli, she was building this global movement and they had some of these super soldiers, but the movement wasn't just built on the super soldiers, right? It was really built on Carli's leadership and it was built on these very real grievances. And then I felt like they really they made it into a very big threat and then they completely backed off it. They were like, well, the GRC is not going to do that and Carli's dead, so, we're going to see what happens in the future, but, for now, it's okay. So I just thought that was a little bit lame. I felt that they could have taken it in a completely different direction. Like, I felt they could have kept Carli alive, for example.
Yes.
Like, I just felt there was a lot of things that could have happened. So I feel like they didn't make the most of it. But I feel like I don't hate it because I feel like that was kind of a premise of the show, right? That the villain in the show didn't really matter. The conflict in the end didn't really matter.
Yeah.
It was all kind of just a tool to take us through the character growth of Sam becoming Captain America. And like just, a few other things happening, right? It was kind of like never really about the Flag Smashers in a way.
I agree. I also kind of like the fact that they killed off Morgenthau in the sense that MCU, they just don't kill off their villains often. So it's just nice to see them wrap up a villain.
Yeah.
But I kind of disliked it also because I feel like she would have been cool to keep around, because I felt she was a good actor. She was quite compelling, and so I agree with you the fact that the way they ended the whole Flag Smasher things was bad. This just reminds me of one thing that I actually really liked about the episode, even though it was barely a part of the episode, just it was this much. But I really liked what they did with Zemo,
Oh yeah.
How he had this he had his butler or serviceman plant this bomb. And then, it's the shot of him in the cell looking very satisfied. Why did I really like that, you ask? Did you ask that?
Yeah, I did. Why did you really like that?
Well, first I really liked it because it really showed that Zemo is this thinking man. He had thought ahead to the point where he planted the bombs under the right car via his assistant. I like that because, this is the man that thought ahead so much that he was able to tear apart the Avengers. Sounds cool. I just liked seeing him in his cell looking so satisfied, getting rid of this supremacist ideologies in the world. I like that.
What I didn't like was I thought they had some book by Pushkin, who's a Russian author, in his cell, whereas in Captain America Civil War, we clearly see Zemo struggling to learn these 11 code words to control the Winter Soldier in Russian.
Hey, it's a very good cat. Whoa.
A very minor inconsistency that nobody else will care about. But it's are they trying to make him Russian maybe? I just didn't I didn't get that.
Well, is it possible that he discovered the Russian language when trying to capture the Winter Soldier's information, and then he was hey, this is a good language, I'm gonna learn to read it while in isolation.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's possible.
So, but I'm excited to see more of Zemo in future Marvel products.
So this brings us to some things that we really
didn't like. Yeah.
And we really didn't like these things.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna go first.
Yeah,
here.
you go first.
The thing I really didn't like was what they did with Bucky. So on the one hand, I think it was really nice that he got his redemption. He did like the amends, and in the end, you know, they gave him a bit of a glow up. Like he looked so much fresher. He was having fun. He wasn't hiding his arm. Like him and Sam are buddies. Okay. So I think like it was very feel good in the end, but I felt that in the whole series so far, you know, they had him so weak.
Yeah.
He was never able to really fight. He was really restrained, and I don't like, he's been carrying around the shadow of being the Winter Soldier, so he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to be super violent, but it's kind of like, yeah, I just don't like seeing the power taken away from him. And I don't like this arc where it's kind of like his growth and his redemption is by like never being so violent and never fighting really well. Because the thing with the Winter Soldier, right, wasn't just like, oh, he has a metal arm or he has the super serum, but it really was that he's this mythical force, this person, this being that instills like sheer terror. And it's like, okay, so Bucky is not the Winter Soldier, but it's like, I feel like he could like take the shadow of the Winter Soldier and bring it to light to really integrate it, whereas it seems like instead they're kind of choosing this fade out the way they did with like Banner, where it's like the Hulk, he learned how to control his strength and then he just never smashed again. And I think that's like, I just don't like it. It's not satisfying to me.
I mean,
I felt Bucky deserved to be more heroic.
I agree with everything you said, and I think you really put your finger on like a good way of framing it. It's this like, it's weird that they choose not to like integrate their shadow, like, because that's like, you know, it's like, you know, this mythological story of like the person who's like a bad person, and then he tries to really get away from that and try to be a good person, but he can't really become a good person until how he learns to integrate the part of him that is bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then so it's just weird that they have had that opportunity twice in a row with like Hulk and the Winter Soldier, and they chose to forgo it both times.
Yeah, and I just wanted to see Bucky feeling powerful and feeling like he owns his power. Yeah, so I think that would have been more cool. But you know, can't get everything. Yeah. What was the thing that you really didn't like?
Well, I mean, I hated. It's like, and it actually surprises me, but I absolutely hated the Sharon Carter being the power broker stuff. And the reason it surprises me is because I wasn't invested in the theory in the first place, right? So I wasn't like invested in the outcome of the power broker because they didn't make me care. And I think that speaks to how bad it was that she was the power broker, because it like, not only did it made me upset, but I mean, it also had to make me care in the initial place. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you
so
know?
It like first made you care.
And yeah. And why did I hate it? First of all, honestly, I just don't think the actress is good.
Yeah.
I think she's bland and boring.
Yeah, she's very bland, yeah.
And just doesn't make sense. Secondly, nothing about the character makes sense at all in terms of her behavior. So like, first of all, you're telling me she went from being this like granddaughter of Peggy Carter who like had stood up her entire life with these like ideals of like justice, to the extent that she was willing to like betray the government to fight for Captain America, and then suddenly she's like the leader of the criminal underworld. I just don't think like the moral deprivation of her character makes sense, right?
And if her character did have such a complete change, then I feel like her day-to-day behavior would be different also. Like I don't get the way she's portrayed, like her mannerisms.
Yeah.
I don't get like the choices.
Yes.
The psychology, as you say.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not evident.
It's not evident in her at all. Which brings me to the second thing I really didn't like about her, which is that like her capacity doesn't make sense. So it's like,
they're so cute.
So it's like she was this US agent, right? And she was like a good agent. But she wasn't the agent. And we know that for a fact, because she wasn't a part of like S.H.I.E.L.D's inner workings. Like she wasn't like working with Nick Fury.
Right.
Yeah, she wasn't even working with Agent Coulson in like Avengers or like the 4 movies, right? And she wasn't like just the main part of anything, really, any part. So that means just by necessity that she didn't have the required skills. right? Or like at least that's
they didn't see because she had every advantage, right? Because she was like Peggy's granddaughter.
Exactly.
Yeah. So she wasn't kind of chosen for the inner circle, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But somehow we're supposed to believe that she became the leader of the criminal underworld. Like the leader of the criminal underworld.
In just a few years.
In just a few years. And you can be like, oh, it was a vacuum, half the people disappeared, yada, yada, yada. But criminal organizations, right, they tend to have like really strong like histories. And they go back. And there's always this like fighting for like power. So she just went to Madripoor and she just became the most powerful underground arms dealer, weapon stealer, smuggler, superhuman, whatever in the world. That doesn't make sense at all to me.
And if she did that, then I feel like there would just be such a bigger character journey for her.
Yes. And I feel like, and that ties back into the psychology point, because if she did that, she would have changed way more.
Yeah, she wouldn't be so bland.
Yeah, but she was all like, oh, Carli, come back to me, we can do great things together. I feel like if she had like risen up through the ranks of the most dangerous criminal underground in the world, she would have shot Carli in the head right away.
Oh yeah, for sure she would have. Yeah, exactly.
Because Carli betrayed her.
Definitely shot Carli in the head, because she would have been like, oh, like you think like you're the only one who can like do this work.
Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, I just don't think she would have been so vulnerable as to like get shot. I mean, I don't know. It's just the whole thing is just very.
Yeah.
It just her character seems incoherent.
Yeah.
Like they hadn't thought it through.
And just before I get to my third point, why I didn't like the whole thing, let me just elaborate on the second with one more detail. It's like if you're the leader of the criminal underworld in the world, basically, then presumably, and you have risen up through the ranks, then like presumably you know how to wear a bulletproof vest. Like you have the technology to change your face.
Oh yeah, she had the thing.
Yeah, which is first of all like weird anyway, because it's like so the Skrulls' abilities they're just like not useful anymore, whatever. But you know how to wear like a bulletproof vest, and I don't think you travel alone. Like you travel with some type of like backup security, so it just didn't make sense. Anyway, the third thing is of course that her behavior in the episodes doesn't make sense.
Yeah, if she's the power broker.
If she's the power broker, why did she lead them to the person making the super soldier serum, right? It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense to lead them there, right?
I love your passion.
But it's like, because we know for a fact that the super soldier is a big deal to her. Because she's like wants Carli back. She wants it.
How come she didn't take it?
Yeah, good question. Good question. First of all, that's a whole other story, I guess.
If she's willing to do whatever.
Yeah. So I just hated her as the.
Like if she would hire the French guy to kill Falcon, why shouldn't she just take the super soldier
and
kill Falcon?
And
then also in the end it's like the thing I didn't get was like why did she hire the French guy to kill Falcon? But then when she had the opportunity, she was like being buddy with him.
Yeah.
It's like but she needs to pretend. But it's like but why?
Yeah.
Like if she wants him dead, like she wants him dead, right? I don't know. Like
nothing of her behavior makes sense. I mean. So I hated all of that.
Yeah, the whole thing felt very
contrived,
bad.
Yeah.
And not logical.
Yeah,
and I guess I also just really felt I really struggled to connect with the way the actress was like portraying the character.
Yeah.
I just couldn't slide into it. And I think it's also just hard to imagine somebody who is that young being like the head of all criminal things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird. It was weird.
I guess it was like the age factor for me.
Yeah.
I think. Or like not even age, but it's like the age and essence.
And I just don't like the fact that they will obviously bring her back in some type of role. You know, the mid-credit scene was her. It's like I'm not a sexist. Like I love Wanda is like my favorite character basically. I love Black Widow. Whatever. So this is not a sexist thing. It's just that really this actress is not good at acting, I think, ultimately. She's just bad at I even thought in Civil War she was not good at acting.
Yeah, I think it's also just I don't know her as an actress, but I think it could be an interaction of the acting skills and kind of her a bit like what they're giving her, because like I think that the lines and the way they have written the character doesn't really make sense. It could also just be the direction, you know. I don't have like a beef with the particular actress. I agree. I was also like, oh my god, is this like, are we being sexist? Like, why we don't like her? But if it was a man and it was the same like, concept and the same like age and same behavior, I feel like it would be the same questions. It just doesn't feel believable.
Yeah, because it's almost like whatever, let's not talk about that anymore. You know, I feel like we made our point. That was bad.
Yeah.
It was just bad. And it did bring down the quality of the show for me, which brings me to the ending of our video. In the end, what did you feel, A, about the episode, and B, about the show as a totality?
I thought the episode overall had a lot of feel-good moments.
Yeah.
And it was really satisfying to see Sarah become Captain America. So I thought that was like good. And then the rest of it, I just didn't like. I wasn't happy with it, but I was like, I'll take it. I accept it. So I felt the finale was like not what I had hoped for, but it was fine. And overall, the show, I think, was a good show, but not really like memorable to me. I think they were skillful in the way they explored the themes. I think Sam's story arc is really compelling, and I think like that in a way is memorable. But overall, the show, I feel it was a bit more of like a kind of like a pawn in the Marvel chessboard rather than really an event in itself. Like WandaVision, I felt it was really like an event in itself.
Yeah, I think like this very good description. It really mirrors my feelings, because I feel ultimately that
so you're just copying me.
Yes, but I feel ultimately that the finale, I felt like satisfied with it, but also felt disappointed simultaneously. It could have been better.
Yeah, it could have been better.
But I feel like it did what it's like. The most important thing it executed on, right? It tied up the Falcon storyline and kind of tied up the Winter storyline.
Yeah.
At least in relation to the Falcon story.
Yeah, no, it tied it up.
And it did it, and so I like that. And as for the show in totality, I agree, it is kind of forgettable. Like WandaVision I thought about afterwards. I doubt I'm gonna think about the show afterwards. And I feel like you identified something important, which is the show doesn't stand as an event in itself. It kind of just stands as something to set up other things. But that is one of the things that kind of brings down ultimately the quality of the show. Not the fact that it was working to set up other things, but the fact that if it was supposed to set up other things, if it was supposed to set up, for example,
US Agent,
this Val character, Sharon Carter as the Power Broker, Zemo now being in like the raft, Falcon as the new Captain America, the Winter Soldier as his like buddy. I'm sure there's something else we're forgetting. The whole
maybe Isaiah Bradley's grandson.
Yeah, Isaiah Bradley's grandson for sure. That's a setup, and also this like council in general.
Yeah, the GRC and the Flag Smasher and the movement.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a lot of setup. I just felt they should have leaned even more heavily into the setup if they really wanted to set things up. For example, they should have told us something more about Val. They should have like shown us more about Sharon Carter. So it was like if they wanted to really have this be a setup show for a lot of things, they should have focused more on the setup. And I feel now they kind of got stuck in between to some extent by making it like its own event and making it something that sets up the rest of the MCU.
And it also makes me feel like, is it like, were they just like so insecure about having a black Captain America that they had to have a whole show justifying why it's going to be that way now?
That is a very good point. That is weird if you think about it.
Because Sam's journey with it, I think, definitely was beautiful.
Yeah.
But now that it's over, it's like, I'm thinking from the cynical perspective, that it's more like Disney trying to like protect themselves from this right-wing critique or something.
They might do that, yeah. That definitely, I feel like, could have been a part of it. And then they just keep John Walker around in the wings just in case the Black Captain America fails.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're doing that. But I mean, I feel like, it's a good question to raise.
Yeah, so the show brought us a lot of like interesting things to watch out for in the future. Had a lot of like feel-good moments, a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed Sam. Really enjoyed watching Sam and Bucky together. It was great fun.
Yeah, and all this moments with Zemo, legendary
Zemo moments. Yeah, I loved Zemo in the show. So overall, I think it really like brightened our Fridays for many weeks in a row.
Yeah. But it's not gonna continue brightening our Fridays by virtue of like us waking up and like being, I wish there was like Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which is telling because even though WandaVision had ended and Falcon and Captain Winter Soldier had begun, sometimes we were like, I wish it was WandaVision instead, you know? Yeah. So definitely worse than WandaVision, but overall very enjoyable.
Yeah. Okay, bye.